Hi, I'm Richard Randall, and welcome to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Colorado's Real Estate Authority, Barb Schlinker. Barb Schlinker is a retired Navy veteran. Barb is an author. Barb Schlinker is also a pilot, and Barb and her team enjoy all that Colorado and the Front Range have to offer. Barb, always great to be talking with you. Now, we air Your Real Estate Voice every Saturday. If you can't listen to the entire show, it is always available on Barb's site, barbhasthebuyers.com, or go ahead and search for Barb on all of the podcast platforms like iHeartRadio. So, Barb, what's in store for today's show?
Well, Richard, first of all, we're going to talk about kind of what the market's doing right now and really how to sell your home for the most money in Colorado in the fall. A lot of people think that there are selling seasons, but yes, there are more sales that go on during the spring and summer. However, we sell homes year round. In fact, many times some of my best months have been in the fall or even winter months. So I wouldn't discount the idea of selling off prime season, because the people actually looking at that time, they're very serious and they are interested in buying a home, and you actually have less competition. So it's a great time to sell. The other topic we're going to cover is what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. Not all improvements actually result in a return on your investment. Generally, buyers are looking for cosmetic things. They want a house to be essentially move-in ready so they can drop their stuff and get on with their lives. But it really depends on pricing and how you position the home. So we'll talk about that. And then the third topic is how to get your home on the buyer's must-see list. You know, we just had Zillow come to our company conference recently, and they coined the phrase, screen appeal is the new curb appeal, which is absolutely true. The numbers went up to 100% of people start their search online. So if you don't win their hearts and minds online, it's over. They're moving on to the next house. So we'll talk about how to get there. And then the last topic is a very controversial topic, but it's fun for me. Do I need to pay a buyer's agent when purchasing a house in Colorado? It's very negotiable right now. There are some agents that are playing it in different ways. They're all still asking for 3%. They're asking the seller to pay them 3%. And it really, the way I view it is, you know, it depends on the offer. If you make a strong offer, maybe the seller will be interested in paying your fee. But if they come in with these crazy lowball offers that are 50,000 below asking price, and they want to be paid 3% for doing that, it doesn't really put them in the hearts and minds of sellers as somebody they want to pay. So we'll talk about how that's working. We're right at a year since they implemented these changes, that the buyer's agent commission is no longer offered online anywhere, and the agent actually has to negotiate if they want to ask the seller to pay their fee. So that's making it very interesting and very fun. And as always, I love talking about my hot new listings. Richard?
So, Barb, in this market, there are more homes on the market and it's taking longer to sell homes. What are the keys to getting the most money when you're selling your home in Colorado during the fall months?
Well, Richard, the market definitely has corrected a bit. And the way I look at it, this is all about supply and demand. As compared to 2 years ago, we have 50% more available homes, yet the number of sales going on is the same as it was last year and the year before. So that has not changed. So what that means is that you have more homes on the market and fewer buyers searching for those homes. So naturally, over time, it could cause prices to drop. If homes are sitting on the market, they're looking backwards at historic sales, going, my home is worth this much, my home is worth that much. They go on the market and crickets, nothing happens. So the best way to deal with a correcting market, in my view, is to price it what I call very, very realistically versus optimistically. Just in El Paso County, we've seen the prices drop 2% just since May, which is really unusual. We're going from May to the end of summer and the fall, and prices are dropping. Normally they go up at that time. And over 54% of home sellers are dropping their price. So again, it's supply and demand. So how do you do it? You have to be the best home on the block in all aspects. Now, the good news is we are seeing a little bit of correction on mortgage rates. As of the other morning, basically the rates are down by 0.75% in the past year. That's very good. Currently, conventional rates are about 6.5%. The government loans, VA, FHA, are in the low sixes, and you could bring in a little bit more down payment and buy your mortgage down. Now, the median list price is pretty much dropping across all of the Front Range counties. It's not just El Paso County. That's where I live, but I work in many counties. But what we're seeing in El Paso County, median list price dropped since May by 2%. The number of people dropping their price is 54%, and the inventory is higher. So what do you do in that situation? You got to be priced right. Same thing, it's actually worse in Douglas County. Since May, when the median list price was $865, right now it dropped down to $828.5. So that's $36,500 change in the median list price in Douglas County. And about the same numbers as far as the number of sellers dropping their price, over 55%. Inventory kind of flat, but I think Denver's market is getting hit a little bit harder than Colorado Springs. And I believe that usually that flow goes downhill. And we've seen that before, where Denver's market is getting hit, the prices are dropping or correcting a little bit, and Colorado Springs is kind of late to the party, but they will follow. So if you are on the market right now, the best thing to do is price it aggressively. Teller County, kind of more the same. The median list price dropped from $575 to $560,000 just since May. 56% of home sellers there have dropped their price, and the inventory is rising. Same thing in Pueblo. And I would say pretty much all along the Front Range, we're seeing that kind of correction. So part of that is that we've got more homes on the market. Everybody's, living in this hopium that the Fed's going to lower the rates. And it really hasn't happened much. There's only been about 0.25% change just since February. So it's not necessarily enough to get those home buyers that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for both price and rates to drop. And what I'm seeing on offers on my listings now is they're actually dropping. They're making pretty aggressive offers, both below asking price, asking for massive concessions. And oh, by the way, they want 3% commission while they're doing it. So if you're going on the market right now, it's important to be priced realistically. If you're not priced very realistically, your home is going to sit on the market, and the market's going to tell you immediately if you got it wrong. If you have very few showings and or very few offers, it's not the right price. And that's actually the biggest mistake, is to price too high. A lot of people will price their homes based on how much they think they're going to get out of the home to go on to buy their next house. And I wish it worked that way. I really do. It'd be a lot more fun. But the problem is, the market is the market. The market is what buyers are willing to pay for the home based on current market conditions right now. Like, I have a home on the market that we got one offer, same day we're getting another showing. So I asked that agent, hey, is your buyer interested in this home too? She goes, no, they found other homes they're interested in. So that tells me more competition, right? So if you've got more competition, you have to be the best home on the block right now. And here's another problem that kind of sets the stage for this scenario, is that a majority of the agent population has never seen a correcting market. If you look back on the stats, 91% of agents turn over. In other words, they get out of the business every 5 years. Well, if you look back 5 years ago, 5 years ago was basically 2020, when aside from COVID, the market just exploded from that point, and we were flying high watching the clouds go by. buyers had to compete for homes. There were bidding wars, that kind of thing. And that's not the case right now. In fact, what Zillow told us at the conference is 25 to 30% of buyers are canceling their contracts. And that's a huge disruption to the home sellers that have kind of already got the move in process. They're planning their move, they're packing, everything's going great. And then, oh, buyer bails out. And now we got to go back to square one and get a new buyer. That's really bad after you've already started packing. The other thing that I mentioned, that buyer's agents are really trying to squeeze more money out of the deals, asking for concessions, asking for commission. And another factor, it's an outside factor, is that our MLS organizations, NAR and Pikes Peak and all of them, they commoditize a home for sale. They won't allow us to highlight anything that makes it special. As an example, let's say the seller has a VA loan, an assumable VA loan that could be assumed by any buyer at a very low interest rate. We cannot put that detail in the description. But it makes it the hottest listing in town if a buyer has the difference in down payment, because they walk into a payment that's half as much as what they would have paid at current rates. So those are the kind of things that really mess up the system right now. And I predict right now, Richard, that someday the National Association MLSs are going to go away. They're already getting overtaken by Zillow, Realtor.com, and Homes.com.
I can see that happening. I mean, everything changes, and that is not a functional, it's not working, Barb.
It's not working. It's frustrating. And I have sellers tell me over and over again, I hate this system. It's the worst. I hate the process. So my name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about how to sell your home for the most money in Colorado in the fall. And we're going to come back and just spend a minute about what home sellers should be doing to get the most money in 2025. Richard?
We're here talking with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And you can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. So Barb, what are things that home sellers must do in a correcting market to maximize the sales price when you're selling a Colorado home?
Well, number one, photos are absolutely important. I'm showing a photo right now of some agent that used her cell phone to take pictures. There was no staging. There's a cat litter box in the image. That was during the boom. And her solution was to tell the seller to lower the price, but that wasn't the problem. The price was already aggressive. She just didn't know how to present it. So there were thousands of buyers that rejected that property based on poor marketing. Don't let that happen to you. It's really, really important. Not all real estate agents are the same. Not all are going to invest in marketing that will make the buyer put that home on the must-see list. So hiring the wrong agent can cost you thousands. Being the best home on the block is absolutely critical. You need to hire somebody that knows how to do it, that knows how to market, that knows how to negotiate, that knows how to close the sale. You wouldn't believe how many second showings I have, Richard, where it's like they came back a second time and they didn't make an offer. What? Why not? Or the ones that blow up the deal over dumb stuff. Like I just had a deal blow up because the inspector dreamed up that there was mold in the house. They didn't test for mold. He just said, because it's been remodeled, there's been mold, which was crazy, and it scared the buyer away. So you want to make sure that you hire somebody that knows how to negotiate, how to price it realistically versus optimistically. Those are just some of the things, and we can help you do that. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker. She is your real estate voice, and she's with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can reach Barb at 719-301-3900. A short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing what to do and what not to do to get your Colorado home ready for sale. Stay tuned for that.